Where is that wretched, dirty girl? Where is she? If I get my hands on you, this girl, I will teach you a lesson you will never forget in your miserable, filthy life." Amanda roared as she walked through the hallway of the Billionaire mansion, searching for the maid. What Amanda didn't know is that the little girl was not a maid. She was the daughter of the Billionaire CEO, disguised as a maid to find a wife for her father. Hello, my viewers. Welcome to African Folktales and Luxurious Stories. If you are just stopping by for the first time, please subscribe to our channel and give this video a thumbs up. Sit tight as we dive into this heart-gripping story. Chisom laid on her bed, looking all sad, her hand on her cheek as she stared into the empty, silent room. She was in her nightwear, but sleep was far from her. The flashes of the day before rushed back to her memory. The previous afternoon, the kitchen was filled with the smell of fried plantain and eggs. Chisom was carefully setting a tray of food for her father at the dining table when Amanda stormed in. "Hey, dirty girl, drop that tray and go scrub the bathroom now," Amanda ordered, her shoulder pad raised high as though she owned the mansion. Chisom turned, her voice polite. "Ma, I will do it after I finish this. The food is for my boss, and he specifically asked me to serve." Amanda's palm landed on her cheek before she could finish her sentence. "You dare talk back to me? You filthy nobody," Amanda sneered. Tears stung Chisom's eyes. Her cheek turned red from the pain. Tears gathered in her eyes. She blinked, trying so hard to hold back the tears, but the pain was too much for her small cheek. She burst out in tears as she ran to her room. Chisom was the only daughter of Robert, a billionaire tycoon who has businesses scattered across the city of Abuja. At the age of 10, Chisom was smarter and wiser than most of her age mates. Well, it is no surprise she goes to one of the best and expensive schools in the city. Little wonder she talks and acts way smarter than her age. Robert Davison, her father, was a man of elegance, tall and broad-shouldered, with sharp features that spoke of discipline. At 40, he had built an empire in real estate, hotels, gold, and luxury businesses. People respected him. Some even feared him. He had wealth and power that scared people around him. They even say he used his wife for ritual. Robert lost his beloved wife, Chisom, 10 years ago. She died while giving birth to his daughter, Chisom. That day was the worst day of his life. When the nurses brought her to him, she was the exact replica of his late wife. There and then, he named her Chisom after his late wife and swore never to remarry. He dedicated his time to raise their daughter and give her the love she deserves. That was why his bond with his daughter was special. For 10 years, he poured all his affection into raising Chisom. He tucked her into bed at night, told her bedtime stories, and personally dropped her at school despite having drivers. To the world, he was a billionaire. But to Chisom, he was a father who doubled as a mother. But as Chisom grew older, she noticed something. Their home was missing something. It was missing a mother's love and affection. Her father was not really happy. She had seen how sad he gets on her death anniversary, and any time he calls her name, it reminds him of the woman he loved dearly, snatched away from him by death. One evening, she climbed onto his laps and whispered, "Daddy, don't you feel lonely? Don't you want someone who can care for you and also be my mummy?" Robert chuckled softly, brushing her hair. "You are enough for me, Chisom." But Chisom shook her head stubbornly. "No, Daddy. I want you to be happy too. Please get a wife for yourself. You deserve to be happy. You have sacrificed so much for me. Now it's time you find happiness." That night, Robert lay awake. For the first time in years, he admitted the truth. He was lonely. His daughter's words touched him deeply. He decided to give love another chance. But there was a problem: his wealth. Robert and Chisom knew any woman would pretend to be good just to get married to the billionaire tycoon. In fact, women practically throw themselves at him at any chance they get. So, finding a good woman for himself and a mother for his daughter was going to be very difficult. Robert relayed his fears to his daughter, who promised to think of a way. A week after, Chisom came to his bed and said with determination, "Daddy, I have found a way on how to get you a good wife," she said. "This is what we will do. I want to test anyone that comes here. I will disguise myself as a maid. If a woman can treat me with kindness when she thinks I'm just a servant, then maybe she is the one." Robert raised his brows in shock. "Chisom, you want to live as a maid in your own house?" "Yes, Daddy," she said firmly. "It's the only way." Robert sighed. "You have your mother's wisdom. All right, we will do it your way." The next morning, Robert called all the workers together and filled them on the decision of his daughter. He made them understand why they must cooperate to the new change. And so, Chisholm's life as the Maid began. The first woman that came was Amanda. She was 30 years old, classy, a businesswoman who sold jewelries. Amanda was pretty, tall, she had the figure of a model. The evening Robert brought her to the mansion, he called all the workers together, including Chisholm, who was now dressed as a maid. "This is my girlfriend, Amanda. I want you all to treat her nicely. Make her stay comfortable. She will soon become your new madam," he told them. Amanda soon settled in the mansion. The first 1 month was good. She stayed mostly in her room when Robert was at work and only came out to get food. By the second month, Amanda had turned to the madam of the house. She commands the maids to do her bidding, like washing her clothes, cleaning her legs, and even washing her underwears. And if they failed to obey her, she lashes out, slapping and punching them. "Everyone in this house are just lazy and useless," she would say. To Amanda, everyone else was beneath her and were meant to worship the ground that she walks on. The encounter with Chisholm at the dining table over the toilet scrubbing was the final stroke that broke the camel's back. Robert was livid. How could she slap his precious little girl? The next morning, Amanda was dragged out of the mansion like a thief caught stealing. Then came Linda, a 34 years old social media influencer. Not too tall, light-skinned, and pretty. Robert and Linda had met at the restaurant he had went for an official meeting. They talked and seemed to get along. They went on 2 dates before they officially started dating. But the moment she walked through the door, Chisholm felt a bad aura on her. In the mansion, Linda lived an expensive lifestyle. Every week she goes shopping for the latest bags, shoes, and trending wares. In her words, she cannot be dating a billionaire and not slay. Robert was not comfortable, but he let her be. Aside her spending habits, she had not done anything bad to anyone in the house. She treated the maids fairly, unlike Amanda. But what they didn't know was about to come to light. One night, Chisholm was heading to her father's bedroom when she overheard Linda on a phone call inside her bedroom. She was talking in low tone, yet audible enough for anyone outside to hear. "Baby, trust me, my love. Once he marries me, I will get access to his money. I will take as much as I can, and we will relocate to Canada to enjoy our lives. He'll never see it coming." Linda laughed. Her laugh echoed in the dark night. Stunned, Chisholm stood behind the door, her hand on her mouth to avoid making noise and giving herself away. Chisholm knew Linda was a lot, but never did she think she would go as far as conniving with her lover-boyfriend to love-scam her father. Just like Amanda, Linda was dragged out of the billionaire's mansion the next morning. That night, Robert sat at the edge of his bed, his palms pressed against his temples. His voice was heavy with exhaustion. "Chisholm, I can't keep doing this. Amanda, Linda, who knows what the next one will be like? Maybe I am too old to find love." Chisholm quickly sat beside him, her little hands wrapping around his broad arm. "Daddy, please don't give up," she pleaded, her big eyes shining through the dark night. "There has to be a good woman out there. Someone who will love you, not your money. Someone who will be a good mother to me, too." Robert turned to her, his heart softening at the hope in her voice. "And how are we supposed to find her? You've seen how these women act." Chisholm smiled faintly. "That's why I'm here. We just need to keep trying. Daddy, promise me you won't give up yet." Robert let out a long sigh and finally nodded. "All right, for you, I'll keep trying." The following weekend, Robert attended a charity gala in Abuja. He wasn't looking for anyone, but fate had its own plans. While others mingled, laughed, and showed off their expensive wares, Robert's eyes fell on a young woman serving drinks. Her name was Amara, a 28-year-old woman volunteering at the gala. Unlike the glamorous women flaunting themselves, she was simple, with her natural hair packed neatly, no heavy makeup, and a modest gown. Yet, there was something refreshing about her. Her laughter was genuine, her humility striking. She accidentally bumped into Robert, spilling wine on him. "Oh my goodness, I'm so sorry, sir," Amara gasped, quickly grabbing a napkin to dab his suit. Robert chuckled. "It's all right. No harm done." Their eyes met, and something clicked. Amara blushed, apologized again, and hurried away. But Robert's mind stayed with her the entire night. The next day, Robert told Chisholm about the lady he had met at the gala, and she immediately told him to invite her over. He invited Amara to his mansion under the pretense of discussing sponsorship for her community foundation. When she arrived, she was shy but polite. Chisom, dressed in her maid uniform, was introduced to her like every other guest. Before Amara left, he told her his intentions of courting her, which she promised to give it a thought and give him a reply soon. 1 month later, Amara had agreed to date Robert. Their love grew slowly. It was sweet and passionate. Amara was the woman Chisom wanted for her father. She was smart, kind, and beautiful. She treated all the maids, including Chisom, with care and respect. She even helped out with chores, even when Robert had told her multiple times to let the maids do them. She refused. She always tells him, "I don't know how to stay idle, my love." So he let her be. Chisom observed Amara like a hawk to see if she was only pretending. One evening, while serving food, she purposely poured water on her to see her reaction. "I am so sorry, Ma. I didn't mean to," Chisom pleaded. "It's okay. It's just water. It will dry off in no time," Amara replied. Instead of getting angry, she collected the water from her and advised her to be more careful. Chisom was pleased. If it was to be Amanda and Linda, she would have received a slap on her small cheek. One night, she ran to her father's room, excitement bubbling in her chest. "Daddy, I think we found her," she whispered. Robert raised his brows. "You're sure?" Chisom nodded. "Yes, Daddy. Amara is different. She doesn't know who I am, but she treats me kindly. I like her." Robert smiled faintly, hope flickering in his heart once more. If only they knew what was about to be thrown at them. The evening was calm at the Davison mansion. Robert was at the pool with Amara, having a couple time together. His laughter filled the air as he laughed to a joke told by Amara. Chisom stood at a corner, watching the two lovebirds. It had been 3 months since Amara came into their lives, and she was sure she was the wife her dad needed in his life. Her heart swelled with joy. She was happy that he was happy. It was about time they told Amara the truth about her real identity. Just then, a heavy bang on their gate suddenly brought her from her thoughts. The heavy gates of the mansion swung open, and a familiar voice pierced the night. "Robert! Robert Davison!" Everyone turned in shock. It was Amanda. She stormed into the living room, her heels clapping loudly against the marble floor. Her makeup was heavy, her eyes fierce, and her voice carried venom. "How dare you throw me out of this house like a dog, Robert?" she shouted, pointing an accusing finger at him. "After everything we shared, after the nights we spent together, this is how you repay me?" Robert's jaw clenched, his eyes dark with anger. "Amanda, I warned you never to step foot in this house again. Leave before I call the police on you for trespassing," he roared. Amanda smirked bitterly. "Police? You think this is about your stupid threats?" "No, Robert, this is bigger. You can't throw me away because—" She paused dramatically, pointing at her big belly. "You see this child inside me? He is yours." Gasps filled the room. The maids stopped in their tracks. Even Amara's eyes widened in disbelief. Robert's chest tightened. "What nonsense are you saying?" Amanda stepped closer, her eyes gleaming with malicious triumph. "You heard me. I'm carrying your child, and if you think you can just discard me and parade another woman in my place, you're wrong. This child will bind us forever." The words cut deep. Chisom's small fists clenched at her sides, her little heart pounding furiously. "No, she's lying," Chisom whispered under her breath. Amara, though shocked, kept calm. It wasn't her fight to fight, she thought to herself. Robert took a deep breath, his voice steady but dangerous. "Amanda, you insulted my workers. You laid hands on every of my workers, and I threw you out because of the wickedness in your heart. Now you come here with lies, hoping to trap me? If you're truly pregnant for me, I will need a DNA test once the baby is born to believe the baby is mine." Amanda's smile faltered. "Oh, you think I am trying to force another man's baby on you?" "Well, you will only be wasting your money," she hissed, her voice trembling. "But don't think you can just replace me so easily." With that, she stormed out, leaving behind a heavy silence. Robert turned to Amara, who'd been silent all through the whole drama. "I promise you, that baby isn't mine." "Don't conclude yet, Robert. When it comes to pregnancy, you can never tell till you have confirmed. Let's keep our hands crossed till she put to birth," Amara replied. A week later, just when it seemed things were settling, a black SUV pulled up at the gate one afternoon. Amanda stepped out, dressed in a flowing red maternity gown, her bags in her hands. She walked into the mansion like she owned it. Robert stood in the living room with the others, his face tightened in anger the moment he saw her. "What are you doing here again, Amanda?" Amanda smirked. "Didn't I tell you I am carrying your heir? Well, if you must know, this is my home now. So, Mr. Billionaire, what do you have to say now? You cannot drag me out of your house like you did before. If you try it, the world will know you mishandled your pregnant wife to be— And trust me, I'll make sure your reputation and everything you have built crashes like shattered glass." She pointed to the workers. "Hey, dirty things, come take my bags to the master bedroom," she commanded. Everyone watched as she catwalked away, her shoe announcing her departure. Robert knew she was trouble. Her words had venom in them and she wasn't bluffing. For the first time, the billionaire was scared, not just for himself, his daughter, and for his relationship with Amara. Because if the baby turned out to be his, Amanda will surely insist he married her. That means Amara might leave him. He was helpless. Until the baby is born, he was stuck with her drama. Chisom could not believe this was happening. Just like Robert, there was nothing she could do. The weeks that followed, Amanda made the house a living hell for everyone. Even Robert himself was not spared. She took large amounts of money from him. If he dared to say no, she would use the baby to threaten him. Chisom had never felt so powerless in her life. Every corner of the mansion echoed with Amanda's sharp voice, her arrogant commands, and her fake tears whenever Robert tried to resist her demands. It was as though the peaceful home she once knew had turned into a prison controlled by Amanda. Robert tried his best to shield Chisom, but Amanda always found a way to torment her. "Dirty little maid," Amanda snapped one afternoon, tossing a pile of clothes at Chisom. "Wash these by hand, and don't even think of using the washing machine. I want them clean enough to smell like heaven, or I'll make your life miserable." Chisom bent to pick the clothes, her little hands trembling. But this time, instead of crying, she looked up at Amanda with a calmness that unsettled her. "Don't worry, Ma," she said softly. "The truth always wins in the end." Amanda scoffed, flipping her hair. "We'll see about that. You made Robert throw me out of the house. We will see who owns the house now, little thing," she said. Robert, who had been watching from the staircase, clenched his fists. He wanted to shout, to put Amanda in her place, but Chisom nodded, telling him not to do anything. That night, Amara came to Robert's study. She closed the door gently and sat across from him. "Robert, you can't keep letting her control your life like this. She's destroying your peace." Robert leaned back in his chair, his eyes heavy with worry. "Amara, what do you want me to do? If this child is mine, I cannot abandon it. And Amanda knows that. She's using it to trap me." Amara's voice was calm but firm. "Then we wait. But while we wait, we gather proof. If Amanda is lying, there must be cracks in her story. And if the child is yours, then we'll face it together." Robert looked at her, his heart softening. She wasn't running away. She wasn't accusing him. She was ready to stand by him no matter what the outcome was. Meanwhile, Chisom had her own plan. She secretly began to follow Amanda around the house, observing her every move. She noticed Amanda spent hours on secret phone calls, whispering and giggling like a schoolgirl. Sometimes, she even sneaked out of the mansion at odd hours, always coming back with expensive shopping bags. One evening, while Amanda was in the shower, Chisom tiptoed into her room and spotted the brown envelope in her bed. Her little hands trembled as she opened it. Inside were hospital papers, scans, test results, and prescriptions, but something didn't add up. In the scan result, it stated that Amanda was 4 months pregnant. Chisom gasped quietly and quickly slipped the papers back into the envelope before Amanda came out. That night, she ran into her father's room, her heart racing. "Daddy! Daddy! I found something!" Robert sat up instantly, alarmed. "What is it, Chisom?" She explained everything she had seen. Robert's face hardened as he listened. "If what you say is true," he said slowly, "then Amanda might have gotten pregnant after she left the mansion." Just then, Amara entered the room surprised to see Chisom in Robert's bedroom. "Someone care to explain what is going on here?" Robert and Chisom looked at each other and nodded. "Please seat," Robert told Amara. "Chisom is my daughter." He finally revealed the secret. He told Amara how he lost his wife and why Chisom had to pretend to be a maid. Amara was shocked by this revelation, but she understood their reason. It was valid if she was in their shoes. She would have done same considering the circumstances. They fill her in on Chisam's discovery, and Amara was happy about it. She placed her hand gently on Robert's shoulder. "This is it, Robert. This is the crack we've been waiting for. We can expose her." Robert's jaw tightened, determination blazing in his eyes. "Then it's time we turn the tables on Amanda. She thinks she's clever, but this game ends now.